Hi there, hope you've had a great week so far, and I'm just in the Glasshouse Mountains on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and this has been for the last sort of 7-8 years a place of solitude and calm and ease for me. I spend a lot of time by myself, which has not been the most easeful, working with what I perceive as a lot of limitations in my mindset and my approach to how I feel in the world, feeling not lonely, but the feeling of being alone and building more trust and resilience in these places becomes really potent to me. Understanding that it doesn't have to, the feelings that are somewhat dysregulated in my system, the ones that I can't attribute to any particular feeling or understanding a specific way of being, I now have, I guess, more of an understanding that if I sit here for 20 minutes in nature with the trees, with the gentle wind that we have, the sun, it gives me the ability to get vitamin D, which is great, better, cleaner oxygen here, which will give my body the chance to just feel more grounded, more settled. And so, how do I know when I need to be doing this? I guess what I essentially do whenever I'm coming out to pick my kids up, I will spend time here, which is wonderful, and it's away from a lot of people, and it's away from a lot of concrete, noise, physical noise as well as sound, in terms of things that are just in our lines of thought. And now I can own the prospect of delivering a slower, more conscious version of me. So when I'm speaking to my clients, when I'm speaking to my children, when I'm relating to myself, I'm able to relate from a more gentle, calm space rather than from a space of what's next, giving myself the best outlook, the closest outlook to getting as clear a perspective without what has been for a long time overused emotions, exhausted, feeling over adrenalized, emotionally exhausted, not being able to focus on my work, which then plays its part with my sleep. Now, something I want to touch on here around there's so many mechanisms of people talking about sleep and overactive minds and technology and nutrition and wellness, and I guess my take, which I'll be sharing more of over the next little while, is essentially we're all energetic beings. Yes, that in some people's belief system there is a higher version, there is a higher energetic version or a being of some sort that people can relate to, and whatever serves that purpose for them is great. What I do know is from an accountability standpoint, and if you're in a position where you can be your most authentic, honourable, loving self to yourself and show up continuously in your highest version, that's only going to have a positive flow and effect with those around you. So in terms of whether it's clients, whether it's partners, or in relationship, it's building a more formal awareness that you can create from, you can model from, if you're talking about with children and so on and so forth. And then that in turn becomes like a more practical version too. So if and when you are having any senses, when I feel like that there's any senses of overwhelm or distractive mind or some, let's say, negative, quote unquote, negative behaviours that show up in your system and how you relate to the world, that in itself becomes more pliable. It becomes more available, more trusting, therefore you're not bashing your emotional head against the wall. Just that feeling and that continuous feeling of that you're not doing enough, which I can really relate to in lots of periods of time. So one of my things with setting this YouTube channel up is that I was really uncomfortable with it and didn't really understand what I should be doing and why I'm doing it. And for me, coming out here, talking into my experience, understanding as a human that I have so much capacity that I'm not actually using as a parent, as a partner. Well, I don't have a partner at the moment, I'm a single human, but I'm just in this position where I actually get to create exactly what I want and how I want to create it. And I think it's fascinating if I can find myself, or when I find myself in positions of creation, I feel like the limitations I've created and put on myself, once I can free up those feelings and those thoughts, those anxious thoughts, the keeping me safe thoughts, I then have this potential of being more expansive, being more relatable in the world, being seen more truly for who I am, and trusting myself more. Therefore, the intention of what I'm doing carries more weight. I'm going to leave you with a couple of snippets there. I'm going to drop in at some point soon and talk more into nutrition and wellness around, there are things that we can do around our body and our mind that essentially can help you reset, can essentially give you like a better, more clearer version, a more conscious version, a more practical version. Until then, you take care of yourself because you're very important, and I'll look forward to catching up soon. All the best.